I'm Dr. Brian Storrs, a basin coordinator with Kentucky Division of Water, and welcome to Kentucky River Keepers. Kentucky River Keepers is our opportunity to celebrate citizens across the Commonwealth that have dedicated themselves to protecting and restoring our creeks, rivers, and lakes. Today we'll be talking with Barth Johnson, a Kentucky River Keeper from Pendleton County, whose efforts to clean up illegally dumped tires from the Licking River has made a huge impact. If you're interested in getting involved in river cleanups or other ways to protect our local waterways, contact your Kentucky Division of Water.
My family grew up on the Rolling Fork River and Knob Creek. We had lines set in the Rolling Fork River. Every day that you could put a fishing line in there, we either had trot lines or bank posts set. 15 years I spent on that river, I don't ever remember seeing a tire. Now, this past year, I have a friend of mine that we fished together, and we went down to the Rolling Fork River. It needs a good cleanup.
Yeah.
The tires that are now in this part of the world are down there as well. A farmer had called about some fellows that were going in there at night shooting deer, so we went over and set up, and we called them about 1 o'clock in the morning. But while we were there, we noticed downriver on the Ohio River, 2 tractor trailers, not the cabs, but the trailers. So being nosy game wardens, we went down, opened the back of those 2 tractor trailers, and they were full of tires.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up being about 5,000 tires altogether. It was a company out of Ohio, and we couldn't charge them because we didn't see them dump any, but you could look in the river and you could see where they had dumped them before.
Mm-hmm.
And what they were doing is waiting for a high water event. And that high water event would be where they'd pop the doors and just shove them in the river.
Mm-hmm.
78 was my first organized tire cleanup with a family in Campbell County, a place called Sandy Island. I think we got 150 tires or something that one day. So the Licking River is 300 miles long. So 150 miles of tires is coming our way from K Run. So these aren't all Pendleton County tires. These are coming from everywhere. It actually became an obsession that the day is going to come when you're going to be able to get in that river and you're not going to see a tire, but it's got to have some work to happen. It's not dangerous so much as it's dirty, and you're digging stuff out of the bottom of a river that's rusty and sharp. It's not made for the faint of heart. So the number one thing that has to happen first is a scout. You got to know what's there. So what I'll do is I've already scouted the area by canoe. Next thing you do, you got to find an access to get the stuff out of the river. You've got to get with the judge exec of whatever county you're in to make sure that when I get it out of the river, the county is going to come and pick it up and recycle it, everything that they can. And then you get your volunteers. And I know how many tires can go in a canoe because I know the water. I know 5 is enough, or 7 is perfect, or we got 2 people in the boat, maybe 4. So the tractor tires they're tough. They're just the balance of them. If you leave a gallon of water in a tractor tire, it starts the whirlpool motion. And you can't stop it, and eventually it turns the boat over. The other stuff, when you're loading stoves and washing machines, and it's a balancing act. And you want to put your canoe on the water with nobody in it and get your balance load perfect. And then you can get in the boat because you've got the balance right.
So when you take it to the takeout spot and you unload everything in the canoes, then what happens? How do you get it from the riverbank?
Right. Very seldom do we have a boat ramp to deal with. So what we have to do is I've got a set of ropes, and we will put 4 or 5 tires together, and we will take a truck and we will hook that rope to the tires, and we take the truck to pull them up on flat land. Yeah. Because if a county can't get a dump truck down in that bottoms, they can't come and get them. And then I'll go back after the event and make sure everything's cleaned up. When you drag a bunch of tires up and washing machines and whatever, you are destroying that bank, that river bank. I mean, it's erosion. So I'll go and I'll take wheat and just broadcast it with straw. Now the wheat won't stay there forever, but it'll hold the ground until
other
plants will dig up and start getting back up in there again.
All right, Barth, why don't you show us a little bit around your place here?
All right, I got 5 acres here. This has been home for about 35 years, and I don't know that I'll make another 35, but if I do, this is still going to be home. This is a typical one day on any river, basically. I recycle everything. If I have 20 tires, 500 pounds of stuff, only 100 pounds of that stuff will make it to the landfill. You know, and people always ask, well, what's the oddest thing that you ever get out? And some of the oddest things, a piano, the safe, naturally. We got a full-size tanning bed that still had the bulbs in it. My parents, they were way ahead of the curve environmentally, and I didn't know that you would throw trash out. They never did, so I never did.
It's all coming out of the river, huh?
Every bit of it, yeah. Several BB gun pistols there.
Look at all these cell phones.
Huh?
Look at all these cell phones.
Oh yeah, no, I get a ton of them.
Well, I bet there's so many fishing rods and reels and stuff that you find.
Well, you can see the reels right there, some of them.
Yeah.
There's half a dozen right there. Some of my turkeys.
Look at this old boot.
Yeah, now that's the boot.
That's old.
That is the one I got, had my wife take pictures of it, and that is a lady's boot from pre-Civil War.
Pre-Civil War?
Yep. Glenn Thaxton called me last week. He said, hey, Barth, he said, I want you to hear this story. I said, what? He said, I've had an older couple who have been staying at my cabin every year for the last 10 years. And they travel down the Licking River. And they came down this year and they said, what has happened? We never saw a single tire on that river. It's beautiful. There's no plastic. There's no junk. Now, the tires that are 8 feet underwater right now, that a high water event moves on downriver, those are the ones you're going to have to stay after year after year after year. But I don't think after this calendar year's over with, from Falmouth to past Butler and the entire South Fork, I do not think that you're going to have a day that you can go get 20 tires. I just don't think it's going to happen. We have got those 20 tires and more and more and more. Before I leave this earth, I think I'm going to have 100 miles or more of the South Fork and the main Licking spotless.